The 2026 NFL Draft just wrapped up, and a social media post about the Philadelphia Eagles' first-round pick has set the internet on fire. A claim that Makai Lemon appeared visibly high during draft night, that the NFL ordered a drug test, and that he now faces a suspension has people questioning everything about the newest Eagle. So we're going to break down every detail of what happened. On Thursday night, April 23, 2026, Makai Lemon was sitting in the green room at a Crizier Stadium in Pittsburgh when his phone rang. Makai Lemon was on the phone with the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night when his phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing. It was the Eagles. The Steelers were preparing to draft the USC receiver with the number 21 overall pick when the Eagles pulled off a trade with the Dallas Cowboys to jump in front of their cross-state rival to steal Lemon. The Pittsburgh Steelers were on the phone with Makai Lemon, ready to draft the star wide receiver from USC in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. Then, Howie Roseman did what he does best. The Philadelphia Eagles general manager was aggressive on Thursday night, ruining the Steelers' plans in the process. The Eagles made a bold move, trading up from number 23 overall to the number 20 pick, just ahead of the Steelers at number 21. The trade was with the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles' own division rival. Philadelphia traded its original number 23 to the Cowboys, along with 2 fourth-round picks, in exchange for number 20 and a 2027 seventh-round choice. Lemon himself was blindsided. Makai Lemon was shocked when the Philadelphia Eagles traded up to draft him in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft on Thursday night. Why? Because when the Eagles made their move, Lemon was on the phone with the Steelers, thinking he might be headed to Pittsburgh. He told reporters after the pick, "First I answered the phone and it was the Steelers, and then my phone kept ringing. I look and it's the Eagles." He was literally mid-conversation with the Steelers front office when Philadelphia intervened. He asked Omar Khan, "Why is Philly calling me?" Now, what should have been one of the most exciting moments of his life has been overshadowed by something else entirely. A social media post from the account Football Crave went viral claiming that the NFL is conducting a drug test on Makai Lemon after he appeared to be visibly high during the draft. That post spread across the internet, and suddenly the conversation around Lemon shifted from his talent to his behavior on camera. People started replying saying they noticed the same thing while watching the broadcast. The allegations, the reactions, the timeline of events, all of it paints a picture that we need to examine piece by piece. Let's go back to the beginning to understand why this situation matters so much. You have to understand who Makai Lemon is and the path he took to get to the NFL draft stage. Lemon was born on June 2, 2004 and grew up in Los Alamitos, California. He grew up playing football as a wide receiver and was close friends with quarterback Makai Nelson, with them playing for the same Pop Warner team and winning a national championship. Football wasn't just a hobby for Lemon. It was in his DNA from the moment he could walk. He initially attended La Mirada High School, where he caught 57 receptions for 784 yards and 5 touchdowns as a freshman, in addition to 4 interceptions as a defensive back on defense. He received his first scholarship offer from the Colorado Buffaloes during the first month of his freshman season. Think about that. A scholarship offer before he even finished his first high school season. That's how obvious his talent was. After his freshman season, Lemon transferred to Los Alamitos High School as a sophomore, where he joined Makai Nelson. From that point forward, Lemon turned into one of the most devastating two-way players in California high school football. The 5'11", 195-pound wideout piled up over 3,600 receiving yards and 41 touchdowns across his prep career, while also moonlighting as a lockdown corner, recording 12 interceptions and 13 pass breakups on the defensive side. Lemon was an Under Armour All-American and an invitee to the Polynesian Bowl. He was ranked a 5-star recruit and the 13th best player nationally by ESPN. Every major college football program in the country wanted him. He initially committed to play college football for the Oklahoma Sooners along with Makai Nelson. However, he later flipped his commitment along with Nelson to the USC Trojans after coach Lincoln Riley left the Sooners for the Trojans. His loyalty to Lincoln Riley and his best friend brought him to USC, where the real development began. As a freshman at USC in 2023, Lemon saw limited playing time and caught 6 passes for 88 yards. Towards the end of the season, he played at cornerback as well as wide receiver due to injuries to the Trojans players. Most freshmen would have balked at playing defense. Lemon didn't. He suited up wherever his team needed him. The 2024 campaign established Lemon as a full-time offensive weapon and special teams dynamo. He led the Trojans with 52 catches for 764 yards and 3 touchdowns across 12 games, while his 19 kickoff returns for 514 yards ranked 6th nationally. This was the year Lemon started showing the football world exactly what kind of player he could become. But it was his junior season in 2025 that turned everything on its head. His junior year cemented Lemon's status as one of the premier receivers in college football. He exploded for 79 receptions, 1,156 yards, and 11 touchdowns, including a 2-score outburst against Georgia Southern and 5 games with at least 127 receiving yards. The Biletnikoff Award winner and Paul Hornung Award candidate recorded only 3 drops on 175 targets over his final 2 seasons. 3 drops in 2 full seasons of college football. That's otherworldly. Lemon was the recipient of the 2025 Fred Biletnikoff Award, surpassing fellow finalists Skylar Bell of UConn and Jeremiah Smith of Ohio State. He is the second Biletnikoff winner in USC football history, following Marquise Lee in 2012. The comparisons started flying in from every direction. Before USC took on Notre Dame, CBS Sports' Rick Neuheisel compared Lemon to Los Angeles Rams receiver Puka Nacua. Others compared him to fellow USC alum Amon-Ra St. Brown. Nacua was named the 2025 Polynesian Pro Football Player of the Year, while Lemon was named the 2025 Polynesian College Football Player of the Year. Lemon's family has native Hawaiian roots. His heritage, his playing style, his route-running ability, everything about his profile screamed first-round talent. On December 17, 2025, Lemon declared for the 2026 NFL Draft. The stage was set for him to hear his name called on a Thursday night in Pittsburgh. And that's exactly what happened, though not in the way anyone predicted. The 2026 NFL Draft was held at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, and the Steelers had every reason to believe they'd be selecting their new wide receiver. In front of their home crowd, with the Pittsburgh Steelers on the phone, Makai Lemon was moments away from taking center stage and drinking in a raucous ovation from the host city. Of the 2026 NFL Draft, then came another call that changed the trajectory of his burgeoning NFL career. The Eagles entered draft night, holding the number 23 overall pick. Wide receiver was a glaring need. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported shortly after that the Eagles were operating under the assumption that A.J. Brown will not be on their team next season. The writing had been on the wall for months. The rumors and reports of the Eagles dealing Brown have swirled this offseason, especially after he voiced his frustrations about the team's offense. Numerous times in the 2025 season, Philadelphia needed a receiver, and Howie Roseman had his sights locked on one name, Makai Lemon. But getting him wouldn't be straightforward. Pittsburgh Steelers general manager Omar Khan uncharacteristically praised USC wide receiver Makai Lemon in the pre-draft process. The Steelers had brought Lemon in for a top 30 visit. One of the final top 30 visits for the Pittsburgh Steelers ahead of the 2026 NFL Draft was former USC wide receiver Makai Lemon. Lemon has a case to be the number 2 receiver off the board in the draft. They were positioned at number 21, and with the draft being held in their own stadium, it would have been the storybook selection. Lemon walking onto the stage to thunderous applause from the Pittsburgh faithful. But Roseman had other plans. The Eagles traded 2 draft picks away in round 1 in order to move up 3 spots and select Makai Lemon. They parted ways with both their 4th-round picks in this year's draft to get Lemon. Since 2021, the Eagles have traded up to draft Devonta Smith, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Jihad Campbell. On Thursday night, they did the same for Lemon, and they did so at the Steelers' expense. The moment itself became instant NFL draft lore. Roseman said, "When we get on the clock, we immediately try to contact the player. It took us a couple minutes to contact the player and get him on the phone." The reason Lemon was still talking to the Steelers when the Eagles were trying to reach him. Pittsburgh had been so confident they were going to land him that they had called him before they were even on the clock, which itself became a separate controversy. On Thursday night, the Steelers had USC receiver Makai Lemon on the phone before the Steelers were on the clock. It could put them on the radar screen of 345 Park Avenue. NFL rules state that clubs not on the clock can have discussions with draft-eligible players, but the optics of the Steelers' call raised eyebrows. NFL Network televised the video of Lemon talking to the Steelers while the Eagles were trying to reach him. At no 21 overall, the Steelers ended up drafting Arizona State offensive tackle Max Ihanakor, a player that had ironically been linked to the Eagles during the pre-draft process. The trade had completely disrupted Pittsburgh's plans, and Lemon was giving Jalen Hurts, And the Eagles offense a new weapon alongside Devonta Smith with A.J. Brown, expected to be traded. Roseman didn't mince words about his aggressiveness. We didn't want to sit on our hands. And Lemon, for his part, embraced the chaos. When he spoke to reporters after the pick, he was visibly emotional. "I ain't going to lie, I'm just so blessed right now," he told the broadcast. He praised the Lord, called it a dream come true, and said he couldn't believe what had just happened. That emotion, the wide eyes, the stunned expression, the disbelief on his face is precisely what started the firestorm online. Hours after the draft concluded, the social media account Football Crave posted a claim that would spread across every football corner of the internet. The post stated that the NFL is conducting a drug test on Makai Lemon this morning after he appeared to be visibly high during the draft last night. Attached to the post was footage from the broadcast showing Lemon's face and demeanor during the draft proceedings. The post went viral immediately. Fans across social media platforms began sharing the clip. Comment sections filled up with people offering their own armchair assessments of whether Lemon looked impaired. Some users stated they had noticed the same thing while watching live. Now, let's look at this in context. The claim came from a social media account, not an NFL insider, not a beat reporter, not the league itself. No official statement from the NFL about a drug test has been released. No statement from the Philadelphia Eagles confirming or denying any such test has surfaced. No verified reporter with access to the league or the team has corroborated the story. But the damage was already done. On the internet, the accusation traveled faster than any correction ever could. By the time Lemon woke up the morning after the biggest night of his life, his name wasn't trending because of his Biletnikoff Award or because Howie Roseman pulled off one of the most dramatic trades in recent draft history. It was trending because of a drug allegation from an unverified account. Here's what makes this particularly frustrating for anyone who watched the draft closely. Lemon was in a state of genuine shock on that stage. Lemon said on a Zoom with reporters, "Then my phone kept ringing, and it was the Eagles. They traded up, and they were going to pick me." He went from thinking he was a Pittsburgh Steeler to being told he was a Philadelphia Eagle in a matter of seconds. The bewildered, wide-eyed look on his face wasn't a sign of impairment. It was the look of a 21-year-old whose entire life just pivoted in a direction he never anticipated. But there were also pre-draft concerns that added fuel to this fire. Lemon has become a polarizing figure late in the process due to a lukewarm showing in Indianapolis. Reports that he bombed certain team interviews and appeared unfocused during position drills have led to questions about his professional readiness. While these character concerns are subjective, they have introduced an element of risk to an otherwise blue-chip profile. Those pre-combined murmurs about Lemon being unfocused created a narrative that some people on social media were all too eager to connect to the viral drug test claim. If there were already whispers about his professionalism, it became easier for people to believe the worst, even without evidence. Lemon started skateboarding at 3 years old after picking it up from his uncle. On the October 30, 2025 episode of the Heisman podcast, Lemon said he used to skateboard around the neighborhood in his hometown of Los Alamitos, California. He credited the activity for helping his balance when playing football. He's described as laid-back, easygoing, someone who carries a relaxed energy wherever he goes. That personality, the calm, the looseness, the effortless cool, can look like a lot of things on camera to people who are already inclined to assume the worst. The broader picture here is something the NFL has dealt with repeatedly. Social media has given every fan with a Twitter account the ability to create narratives that can overshadow actual football events. A single unverified post, especially one posted at a moment of peak attention, can define a player's public perception before he even puts on his team's jersey for the first time. Let's step back from the noise and talk about what the Philadelphia Eagles actually secured on draft night, because the football reality here is far more significant than a viral tweet. A 2-year starter at USC, Lemon is a slot maven with otherworldly ball skills. In 2025, he amassed 1,156 receiving yards on 79 catches with 11 touchdowns, en route to being named the Biletnikoff Award winner as college football's top receiver. Lemon was named a first-team All-American, first-team All-Big Ten player, and crowned the Polynesian College Football Co-Player of the Year. From a skill perspective, the Eagles are getting a player who fits precisely what their offense needs. At 5'11", 192 pounds, Lemon doesn't boast imposing size, but he is a battler who will fight for every pigskin and scrap for each yard. He's an excellent route runner with sharp breaks at the top of his route, allowing him to gain separation even against fast corners. Lemon excels against zone, knowing where to sit in space. Lemon possesses vice grip hands, boasting a 2.8% career drop rate. Doing his best work out of the slot, Lemon wins with quickness off the line and plays bigger than his frame, winning 50-50 balls and can contort his body to snag off-target throws. Lemon is a standout slot receiver and led all the FBS in first down receptions last season with 50. The Eagles can line Devonta Smith and Dontavion Wicks on the outside and Lemon in the slot. He can be a strong option underneath for Jalen Hurts, similar to Wicks, with the potential to create yards after the catch. The front office made its intentions clear. Howie Roseman said he has a lot to like about him. A competitor, has the ability to separate in man coverage out of the slot. He can play outside, physical player. Really good with the ball in his hands. Really good hands. Good in zone coverage, has really good instincts. Head coach Nick Sirianni added, Howie mentioned his ability to separate. Insane ability to catch the ball in contested situations. Lemon said his top 30 visit to Philly had great vibes and he's looking forward to playing for the Eagles. During that pre-draft visit, he shot some hoops with head coach Nick Sirianni, who tries to gauge the competitiveness of prospects with challenges in the building. Devonta Smith is set to become the #1 wideout in the 2026 season. And the Eagles made several other moves to add talent before the draft. Earlier this month, the Eagles acquired Dontavion Wicks in a trade with the Green Bay Packers and gave him a 1-year contract extension. They also signed wide receivers Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore in free agency. Now, Lemon will join Philadelphia's receiving room and compete for a role on the offense. So Lemon is leaving LA and headed to Philly, where he'll look to fortify new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion's squad and provide quarterback Jalen Hurts with another top target, along with Smith. The Eagles also made another blockbuster move during day 2. The Philadelphia Eagles have traded for Vikings edge rusher Jonathan Greenard in a blockbuster deal during day 2 of the 2026 NFL Draft. The organization is clearly in win-now mode, stacking talent across the roster. Now, here's where we get to the part everyone's been waiting for: the truth about the drug test allegations and what they mean going forward. As of right now, the claim that Makai Lemon was drug tested by the NFL and faces suspension originates from a single social media post by the account Football Crave. No NFL spokesperson has confirmed a drug test. No Eagles representative has acknowledged it. No established NFL reporter, not Adam Schefter, not Ian Rappaport, not anyone with verified league sources, has reported on it. The post was made on social media with an attached image from the broadcast. And that's it. Could the NFL test any draft pick at any time? Absolutely. The league has the authority to conduct substance tests during the draft process and beyond. It's part of the standard protocol that every incoming player is subject to. But there is a massive difference between a routine test and one ordered because a player appeared visibly high on television, and nobody with any actual knowledge of the situation has confirmed the latter. Lemon himself, in his post-draft press conference, was articulate, emotional, and present. He talked about his faith, his excitement, and his readiness to compete. He detailed the phone call with the Steelers and the Eagles. He spoke about what the pick meant for his family and his Hawaiian roots. None of that behavior suggested a person who was impaired. So what actually happened here? A young man experienced the most dramatic, confusing, and exhilarating moment of his professional life on national television. His stunned reaction was captured on camera. Someone online decided that his expression and demeanor meant he was under the influence, and they posted it to an audience that was already tuned in and ready to react. And because social media doesn't require evidence, just engagement, the story took on a life of its own. The title of this video asks whether Makai Lemon exposed the Eagles after getting suspended for drugs at the draft. The reality, based on everything available right now, is that no official suspension has been announced. No credible source has confirmed a failed drug test. And the only exposure happening is the power of an unverified social media claim to overshadow what should be a celebration. For a kid from Los Alamitos, California, who just became a first-round NFL draft pick, the Eagles gave up real draft capital to get this player. Howie Roseman traded with a division rival. He jumped in front of the Steelers. He targeted Lemon specifically because he believes Lemon is the answer to life after A.J. Brown. That's the story. Everything else until proven otherwise is noise. Lemon said it best when he was asked about the whirlwind of draft night. I feel like everything happens for a reason. They traded up, so it means a lot that they really want me. I'm all in, and they're going to get everything that I got. Whether the internet lets him start his career with a clean slate, that remains to be seen.